Hey everyone, my name is SJ and I'm the Director of Special Projects at Terraform Labs. I'm happy to be here on DeFi Summit to represent Terra and also speak to all of you on where Terra is and essentially where we are going. So by way of an introduction, Terra is a delegated proof-of-stake network built on Cosmos SDK and using Tendermint consensus. We launched in 2018 and have really seen tremendous growth over the past few months. The total value locked in our ecosystem is about $5 billion, and currently more than a third of our governance token, or Luna, is staked at a value of more than $2 billion. We're also backed by some of the best names in the industry. I'm sure you'll recognize many of them here, but Galaxy Digital, Coinbase Ventures, Arrington Capital, Hashed, Binance Labs are all investors in us, and we're happy to call them our partners. So at Terra, we have a saying, which is that our main business is our suite of stablecoins, and that everything else that we build are essentially features to make them more useful. We have a suite of more than 20 coins pegged to the respective currencies and being built on the Terra blockchain, which has very low fees and also high settlement speeds. We've been able to build out a core primitive around payments using an e-wallet called Chai. So we created Chai, which currently has more than 2.5 million users in Korea and has an average revenue, run rate revenue of $2 billion per year. As you can see from this chart, there's been tremendous growth and we're excited for the future. And just to give some context into these numbers, that's more than 5% of the population using Chai in a market that's very hard to break into, and given very sophisticated user base and also a saturated marketplace. So to the extent that stablecoins are our main business, Terra USD or UST is our main stablecoin. It currently has a market cap of 1.9 billion and is the 5th largest stablecoin in the market. What's interesting is we are the only commercially successful and scaled version of an algorithmic coin and are very excited about our future using Terra USD. So how is Terra USD pegged to $1? So Luna, which is our native staking and governance token, absorbs the short-term volatility that Terra USD would otherwise face. So the stability mechanism is powered by economic incentives, and we believe that that's the most powerful way to incentivize users to behave in a way to capture arbitrage. And Terra in its design has a mint and burn feature whereby there is an elastic supply of Luna, and to the extent that there's increased demand for UST, or decreased demand for UST, users can always swap $1 worth of Luna for UST and capture any arbitrage presented by any deviation from the peg by burning Luna or minting Luna. So as one can imagine, to the extent that there's more demand for UST, more Luna has to be burned to be pegged and to maintain the parity value, and that would lead to scarcer liquid Luna supply. This also will accrete value to stakers because to the extent that there are scarcer supply of Luna, more of the swap and transaction fees in the network will accrue to them, as well as increased airdrops from our growing ecosystem accruing to the fewer number of supply of Luna held by our stakers. To go a little bit more in depth into our other protocols, Mirror is our answer for investments. It's powered by synthetic assets. We launched in December of 2020 in kind of the wild days of Robinhood and GameStop. And we've grown this to $2 billion in total value locked and $1 billion in liquidity. So this is the fastest growing synthetic protocol in DeFi. And what we're especially proud of is the fact that we're not only built natively on the Terra blockchain, but also available to trade M assets on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. So I'll be brief here, but Mirror works by allowing users to mint M assets or trade M assets to provide liquidity and provide governance into the protocol. And there are different economic incentives built into these interactions, which allow the protocol to grow with increased user interactions. And what's super exciting is Mirror's composability. So we're just getting started here, but to the extent that you can imagine somebody deposits funds into Anchor and takes AUSD and buys Apple, instantaneously they would have created a yield-bearing Apple share that just doesn't exist in traditional financial markets. Similarly, you can take mirrored assets and create very interesting index funds, which is essentially what the Nebula protocol is for, or create like a fund management vehicle and platform, which is what SPAR will do. But again, we've created partnerships and connectivity outside of the Terra blockchain. And for instance, Token Sets has created a FANG index using mirrored assets on Uniswap and Ethereum. So the go-to-market for Mirror is very simple. We just want to create a very delightful and magical experience, if you will, for users in providing a Robinhood-like interface. And I think a good validation for us is if you look at where the growth of Mirror has come from, it's not the larger markets that you would expect. It's actually coming from countries in Southeast Asia where access to US equities is just almost impossible for the masses. And we see that as a testament to the product market fit that we've found in this protocol that we've created. So Anchor is our savings protocol, and this is super interesting because we're able to offer a very high fixed rate on deposits, and in less than 2 months of launch have accumulated more than 700 million in TVL. How Anchor works is it's powering the liquid staking derivatives that are posted as collateral on the supply side of our protocol. So one can imagine borrowers are posting proof of stake tokens that have staking rewards embedded in them, and the protocol takes the staking rewards from the collateral and passes that through to depositors. We have obviously just gotten started with this and are very excited about the future of Anchor, as we wanted to build it to become the Stripe for savings and also increase connectivity to different chains and different governance tokens to increase the bandwidth and reach of Anchor. So in our DNA is a cross-chain strategy. We don't believe that there's only going to be one chain that rules all, but expect there to be multiple chains and essentially want UST or Terra USD and our apps to support a broader DeFi universe in the future. So this allows to tap into more than $100 billion of total value locked across chain. And Terra Bridge is one product that we've designed to create this connectivity between Terra assets, Ethereum assets, Binance assets, and with other integrations such as Wormhole, we're excited to integrate with Solana and other chains as well. Obviously, being built on Cosmos means that we have connectivity to other ecosystem projects that are built on it and are very excited to look to integrate with Thorchain and other projects that are built using IBC and Cosmos. So if there's actually one thing to take away from this call, I wanted to paint the picture for Terra, given that not too many people may be aware of it, but also how we've established such rapid growth. But what I want to hone in on is essentially the future and where Terra is headed. So to the extent that what we've created so far is a proof of concept and is Terra version 1 that we've enabled by building on 3 core primitives, whether it be Chai for payments, Mirror for investments, and Anchor for savings, what we're super excited for is Terra version 2, which is our growing ecosystem. We want there to be hundreds of applications built on the Terra blockchain to create the future of finance or finance, and really just to make a new financial stack using DeFi and leveraged by our suite of stablecoins, which are going to be the most easy to use, easy to spend, easy to save. So what's next for us? As many members in our community will know, we have a lot of interesting projects that are very close to launch. So Columbus 5 is our improvement on the mainnet. Pylon is going to be the closest to launch in terms of internal protocols that we're designing. Nebula is next on the list, but also we're thinking of ways to create structures such that we are more proactive in providing value and help to builders who want to build on Terra. So we're working on projects like Engineering Bay and Terra Academy, thinking of ways to start hackathons or accelerators and various ways to provide value to our growing community of builders and teams. For Mirror and Anchor, it really comes back to connectivity again and composability. So for Mirror, we are excited about Mirror version 2. For Anchor, we're very excited about being able to integrate different stable coins from ETH, for instance, as deposits to Anchor, as well as taking in additional collateral, whether it be DOT, Polkadot, or Solana, or Atom for Cosmos, and diversifying the base of collateral that powers Anchor. But again, we're most excited about our ecosystem. As you can see, we've listed a few just to give you a sense, but I don't think it's an overstatement to say that there's probably more than 100 projects that are being built on Terra right now. Like, it's hard for our teams to keep track of them. And I feel like every day we wake up, there's a new Twitter handle and a new project, which is, super energizing, because we see the excitement and the future of Terra being very bright, not just for our benefit, but really, again, to build a decentralized money and to do that with our community. So these are some of the resources that you can tap into. We have our docs online, as well as application form for Terraform Capital, whereby you can gain access to funds for grants. But really, we're reachable on Twitter, on Telegram, and are very active. So please feel free to reach out to myself, to Do, and to others. And we hope to stay connected with you. Thank you very much.
Hey, SJ.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for kind of giving us a full kind of overview of the full Luna ecosystem. Mm-hmm. For those, I guess, the lunatics and those that are new in the space as well. Yeah, shout out to the lunatics. Yeah, I guess, can you give a quick intro about your background as well too? I know that you come from the more traditional finance and finance space, and you kind of got red pilled or blue pilled, depending on how you see it, into the whole DeFi and Luna ecosystem as well too. Kind of like. Sure. Can you share us your background and how you kind of stumbled into decentralized finance?
Sure. So I spent close to a decade at Goldman. Most recently, I would say the latter half of my career has been spent as a fixed income portfolio manager on the buy side of our business. But I just had like a light bulb moment of seeing the almost infinite possibilities of what DeFi was offering. So I started looking at various projects and chains that are being built on DeFi, and stumbled upon Terra and what Do and the team are creating, and was just super drawn to the ethos of Terra, which is to build outwardly, not necessarily just for crypto native audiences. And it was it was just one random DM to Do that started my path to becoming a lunatic. So I'm very excited to be part of Terra and to help grow the Terra ecosystem.
So if you're saying that if you DM Do, you might get a job and work for Luna and get into the, I'll definitely take note of that. Any lunatic out there, definitely hit Do. Don't spam him though.
Yeah, maybe you can start with me, but Do will respond.
Right. Yeah, he's a busy guy. Yeah. running the whole ship. That's awesome. Yeah. Thinking about like the whole Luna ecosystem overall, one thing that I kind of noticed that's been very different in the, I guess, to like the whole DeFi space is that, a lot of DeFi projects and protocols and products are kind of like focusing on like DeFi native or like crypto deep heavy users. You guys seem to be walking like a whole different path with trying to build these different applications and go after like the Robinhood type of crowd, where it's like you have the Mirror, you have Anchor with stable yields to replace your bank. You have these upcoming apps, dApps, and wallets, and all these different on-ramps are coming across. Like I guess Chai was the first one as well, but we're looking to see that it's coming across in different markets with like Alice in the US and many more too. Would you say that's kind of like by design that you guys are seeing that the future, is, I guess, obviously still with crypto and DeFi, but I guess like bridging across as well too? It seems like you guys have been on a full path of trying to unlock more money into the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And what's most interesting is we've built Chai, we've built Mirror, we've built Anchor in-house, but pretty much every other protocol that you're seeing and the projects that you're seeing are community-driven efforts. And I think that kind of speaks to the community resonating and really agreeing with our approach of trying to build outwardly. And so to the extent that you see an Alice or an Astro Money or a Cash or a Catapult or a Tick, like covering different regions and different markets to provide an on-off ramp, provide a way to utilize stablecoins in real world use cases. A lot of that is just built by our community, and that's what we love about the kind of Terra version 2, if you will, because it's not as if we have to mandate that or we're coercing anybody to build in that way. The community is just taking Terra into that direction. So we're super excited to just see the growth of those initiatives because, again, we're not necessarily like building just to create yield farms or create other food coins, but just to create new money, a new digital currency, and to make it much more easier to spend and save and to spend.
I see that your title too is the director of special projects as well too. That sounds that does sound super secretive. I guess, would you say that you kind of like oversee like all the internal projects? Is it something that like Terra and Luna is building a lot more upcoming internal projects, or it's kind of just like working in tandem with upcoming projects, and those are like the special projects that you guys are working with?
Yeah, so I would say the bulk of my time is spent on projects, obviously. Do gave me this funny title, so whenever I speak to anybody, everybody asks me what I do at Terra. And essentially half of my time is spent currently, at least half of my time is spent on internal projects and half of my time is spent on external projects. So I'm just excited to see, for instance, Pylon, Nebula, or another protocol that we're designing right now, attacking like social referrals and affiliate marketing to see that come to fruition in-house. But also, again, kind of alluding to Terra version 2, seeing a lot of these different external projects and seeing how we can help scale or make them successful. So, there are interesting ideas of creating options on Mirror or creating healthier user habits and rewarding them through blockchain and tokenomics. There are interesting ideas of, Orion, for instance, building different bridges to make sure that Anchor's bandwidth increases. Project Andromeda, which creates a new NFT standard, which are all like community-driven efforts that may have come from the hackathon that we had recently, or just interest in, on the Terra blockchain, and just being involved in those projects to provide agency as well as maybe more closer support if they need. So I am definitely grateful to have this interesting role of being able to see internal projects and external projects, and happy to be a point of contact for that.
With I guess with the upcoming upgrades too, with like the Columbus 5 upgrade with the Luna ecosystem as well, I guess what can we look forward to, and how does that kind of level up with the next phase of the whole ecosystem and upcoming projects as well? Would you say that I saw that you guys were integrating the Cosmos IBC and Thorchain as well, so it looks like integration with getting UST across now, like even with once Cosmos DeFi starts, which is not here yet, that could be an interesting play as well. Like these are all like new avenues, I think, that for UST, right, you guys are trying to open up the pathways for.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, like if Terra's main business is our stablecoins, what we find the unique value proposition of our suite of stablecoins is that it's fully decentralized. So like we're just super excited about what the future holds given UST's scalability, capital efficiency, permissionlessness, to be tapped into not only the growing Cosmos ecosystem, but also the broader DeFi ecosystem. And obviously, just broadening the landscape for internal projects as well as external projects to launch. I do think that we're really at the very beginning of DeFi, if you will, and just seeing already the burgeoning ecosystem, excited about what that future holds.
Yeah, I think especially like on crypto Twitter with the lunatics, they're just always coming out with all these crazy like charts and graphs and different ways of, and I think it's really interesting, kind of like with what you guys are trying to build. Like there are still a lot of like, would you say that there's still a lot of undiscovered DeFi models or DeFi things that we haven't even fully tapped it in terms of like taking stuff from like traditional finance and especially from your background too, seeing all what we've was done in the real world in terms of assets and money.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're not even in the first inning, and that's what gets me super excited about the potential for DeFi in general, and obviously for Terra too. Like again, we talked about some complex derivatives that you can build, but also like simple ideas like providing unsecured credit or providing liquidity to real world assets are just common ideas that are available. Composability and a way to gain liquidity by posting tangible assets as well are just not things that are done currently that can be done with NFTs and with liquidity pools, with connectivity to or between TradFi and DeFi. So yeah, I think we're just in the beginning and are very excited about what the future holds for the general DeFi landscape as well.
I guess thinking about like bridging into like other markets and others as well, like getting a chai level like application into like the US and then also Europe as well too. I guess what is the kind of the next? Are you guys seeing kind of like any major like roadblocks on each of those in terms of like different jurisdictions or some regulations in terms of like building those on-ramp and fiat bridges, or I guess just like looking at like El Salvador is opening up the doors now, like or countries, or like are you working with teams to kind of knock those doors down? I guess is a question I have. Because like that's kind of like the next wave for mass adoption, right?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, again, like through projects like Alice and similar projects in different regions, we're integrating with local players who have connectivity to like banking as a service type of models, and other ways of being compliant, but also offering services that will make UST or other stablecoins that we offer more usable. So that's definitely like one of the core tenets that we have. And to the extent that there are regulations, we'll provide agency and as much as we can provide a way to I wouldn't say overcome, but to become compliant and to create a path for UST's adoption.
Or go full DeFi. It depends on what it is. Depends where it is too. But we'll leave it as that. I don't want to get in trouble or anything.
Exactly.
Different areas. I think that's an important point too, that it's not just also building just on the blockchain itself as well, right? It's also working with the actual like financial institutions or some more fintech neobank interested partners to kind of actually help bridge that bridge access really. And I think that's like an important point that you kind of highlighted and shared. I guess we're kind of wrapping up here with the last few questions and everything here. I guess looking forward for like how DeFi is currently, I guess, and also with like the whole Luna roadmap coming up as well. How do you see DeFi kind of playing out? Are we gonna have a DeFi summer 2.0? Are we gonna see a continuous year for DeFi? Like, is this just, you said, I think you said earlier, this is just like phase one, right?
Yeah.
What is your future outlook look for the whole space and for both Luna and just like DeFi in general?
Right. Yeah, I would say specific to Luna, just again, with the knowledge that we have of how many projects that are launching, like I think somebody mapped out there's like 19 airdrops coming for Luna stakers.
Airdrop season.
Right. And that's only the subset that have designed tokenomics so far. So like the future for Luna, we feel like is bright in terms of additional projects being built on it, as well as us just getting started in terms of usage of UST as a stablecoin as well. I think the volatility that we saw a few weeks ago was a good testament to the stability of our ecosystem and our mechanism, and we've obviously made improvements to make it more robust. But when I look at DeFi in general, it's hard to predict short-term markets. But I think you look at the longer-term picture, and it's undoubtedly one that is on a trajectory for growth. And I think we're seeing that with just a testament to that is institutions just being eager to adopt blockchain distributed ledger technologies, and with users getting more familiar and with better user experience in terms of getting onboarded onto DeFi as well. I think we're just at the precipice of the beginning of an amazing run for building future money, if you will. And yeah, I think Terra is going to have a leading role in it. So super excited and happy to be a fellow lunatic.
Likewise. Well, thanks for kind of giving us a full overview of the whole Terra and Luna ecosystem. We'll definitely hope to have you on another upcoming event as well to kind of see how your guys' updates and progress goes. Do you have any last thoughts or anything you'd like to share before we wrap everything here?
No, I'm just super pumped for the future of Terra, for our community. So just stake your Luna and get those airdrops, or follow us. Obviously, we're active on Twitter and Telegram, so happy to engage.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you down there. Thanks for coming by.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin.